I spent hours cooking my husband's favorite meal for our anniversary. He took one. I need to get this off my chest because I'm still sitting here at our dining table staring at the cold food, and I honestly don't know what to feel anymore. Yesterday was our 5th wedding anniversary. I took the day off work specifically to prepare this elaborate dinner. My husband Jake has this favorite dish his grandmother used to make: braised short ribs with this incredibly complex red wine reduction, roasted root vegetables, and homemade potato gratin. He mentions it maybe twice a year, always with this wistful look in his eyes. His grandmother passed away 3 years ago, and she never wrote the recipe down. I spent 2 months tracking down that recipe. I joined Facebook groups for people from his grandmother's hometown in Vermont. I messaged distant relatives. I finally connected with her former neighbor who had eaten dinner at their house countless times and remembered most of the ingredients. I tested the recipe 4 times over the past month when Jake was working late, trying to get it exactly right. Yesterday morning, I woke up at 6 to start the prep work. The short ribs alone needed to braise for 4 hours. I hand-peeled and cut all the vegetables. I made the gratin from scratch, slicing the potatoes paper thin the way his grandmother apparently did. I even drove to 3 different stores to find the specific brand of wine his grandmother used because the neighbor mentioned it by name. I set the table with our wedding china that we've never actually used. I put on the dress I wore on our first date. I lit candles. The whole apartment smelled incredible. I felt so proud of myself. This was going to be perfect. Jake came home at 7, which was when I'd asked him to be back. He walked in, and I watched his face carefully as the smell hit him. His eyes got wide. He looked at the table, looked at me, and I swear I saw his eyes get a little watery. He sat down and I served him. I told him the whole story about tracking down the recipe, about wanting to recreate this memory for him. He just stared at the plate. Then he picked up his fork, cut a piece of the short rib, put it in his mouth. He chewed slowly, put down his fork, stood up, and said he needed to take a walk. Just like that. No explanation. No, this is amazing, or this isn't quite right, or anything. He grabbed his jacket and left. I heard the front door close, and I just sat there in my first date dress with 2 plates of food that took me 8 hours to prepare. I waited for an hour. I tried calling him 3 times. No answer. I finally ate a few bites of my own plate, but I couldn't taste anything. I kept replaying his face in my mind, trying to understand what I saw there. He came back around 10. His eyes were red. He'd been crying. He walked past me to the bedroom without saying a word. I followed him and asked what happened. What did I do wrong? He said I didn't do anything wrong. The food was perfect. That was the problem. He said it tasted exactly like his grandmother's. Exactly. And he wasn't ready for that. He said tasting it brought back this wave of grief he thought he'd processed. And he felt like he was sitting at her table again. Except she wasn't there, and she'd never be there again. He said he couldn't handle it, and he's sorry, but he needed me to throw the rest of the food away because he couldn't look at it. I threw away 6 servings of short ribs this morning. The smell is still in the apartment. He apologized again this morning. He thanked me for the effort. He said it was the most thoughtful thing anyone has ever done for him. Then he left for work. I'm not mad at him. I think I'm just heartbroken. Not for me, but for both of us. I wanted to give him something beautiful, and I gave him pain instead. I wanted to see him light up with joy, and I made him cry. The whole thing feels like some kind of cruel irony. Our anniversary dinner lasted 5 minutes. I'm sitting here wondering if I'll ever be able to cook for him again without thinking about his face when he stood up from that table. I don't even know what I'm asking for here. I just needed to tell someone.